Hello, my name is Robert Lott, and this is my older adult oral video presentation. In this presentation, I'm going to discuss several theological stages and apply them to my interviewee, EB. To maintain confidentiality, only initials are going to be used in this presentation. When I interviewed EB, it was clear that she had many different experiences in her life, all of which she spoke very positively about and how it shaped her outlook on life. It is for this reason that I chose Erikson's stage 8, to integrate integrity versus despair. This is Erikson's last stage of development. It occurs at age 65 and older and ends at death. During this stage, an individual contemplates their accomplishments and looks at what they value in life. Erikson described an integrated person as one who has fulfilled their life obligations and validated their life's worth. If there was any sense of doubt or having regrets about their life decisions or think that their life has no meaning, then he would categorize this as despair. So what does this mean as it relates to my interviewee? Looking at EB's life, there are many things that she finds positive and give value to her life, such as a loving family. She has many nieces and nephews. She loves to travel. She has a lot of favorite places, such as going to Maine or Boca Raton, Florida, on a little strip of shop that they have there. She found love. Although it was late in life, it was very meaningful, and she supported the love of her life till the very end, which we will discuss later on. She works as a school secretary and found a great passion and love in her career. She worked in the school district where she's in now for over 50 years. Additionally, at the time of the interview, she recently became a homeowner and brought great joy in decorating her home and going about all the home improvement projects she's been waiting so long to complete. So, what are some challenges and accomplishments that EB had in her life? As mentioned before, she is very proud and recently bought a home after many years of renting. She is very proud of her accomplishment in her career, being in her school district for over 50 years, and her development of a close social circle that are all her confidants. Some challenges included that she supported her partner through rehab, particularly alcoholic rehab. Also, she never married. She was never privileged to the spousal benefits such as health insurance or financial benefits that come with the labeling of being married. Psychosocial crisis. Every one of Erikson's stages has a psychosocial crisis. For integrity versus despair, this crisis centers around asking yourself what accomplishments you've had and what failures you've had, and upon this reflection, be able to answer, do you accept your life the way it was, or do you have any regrets? In order for somebody to have such a regret, or to be able to say that they fully fulfilled their life, they would have to have gone through Erikson's stages of psychosocial development, including his previous stages. These stages include trust and mistrust, autonomy versus shame and doubt, initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus confusion, intimacy versus isolation, generatively versus stagnation, and lastly, the stage we're discussing today, stage 8, integrity versus despair. So how does this apply to EB? EB was the oldest of 3 siblings. Her sister is 15 years younger than she is. This age gap caused her sister and her to have a very different relationship than what it is today. When asked to describe that relationship, EB said that her sister would always embarrass her and she would not be the first person she would hang with. However, today they are best friends. EB grew up on a farm. She was the daughter of a dairy farmer. When asked about religion, EB stated that she went to CCD and was raised Catholic, but was introduced to Judaism late in life when she met her partner and has embraced that faith and culture very much. EB did not go to college. She instead found her career in a school district, which I will go and discuss later on of how that came to be. She realized she did not want to go to college because of a major event. Oppression. Oppression is defined in our text by Rogers as an act of placing severe restrictions on an individual, group, or institution. EB did not have any restrictions placed on her, even with the lack of college education and growing up the simple life on a farm. She was able to use her inhibitions and skills and be able to find a job with great benefits, despite her growing up in a typical, not a typical upbringing. Community and institution played a critical role in EB's life, in saying that she had a fulfilling life. In this slide, I'm going to play a video clip where she discusses a pivotal moment. To give you some context, she was in a bus crash and had to shelter in place at the school. Having this experience at the institution allowed her to be offered a career opportunity. Please wait while I gather the audio clip.
Red Cross came and brought cots for a whole busload. It must have been like 50 kids. And they were making arrangements for somebody to open the cafeteria again to give us something to eat and drink. And in the middle, and we were supposed to all be contained in the auditorium, but I thought to, go call my mom and tell her what happened and tell her I was okay, and they let us go one at a time. So when I got to the office to call my mom, there was one secretary that hadn't gotten to go home yet. Mm-hmm. And the phones were ringing off the hook, and after I called my mom, she said, "What grade are you in? Are you in the business classes here?" and all that. And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Would you mind could you stay here and help me?" And she gave me a list of parents to call to say what happened so that each kid didn't have to come one by one. Mm-hmm. And I did that, and I ended up, it was funny, I had a suitcase because I was going to stay overnight at my girlfriend's house. So reporters came up from Newtown, and they made me put my pajamas on. And they took a photo of that, and a Tasty Cake truck ran off the road right in front of the high school, and that guy came in all snow covered and asked if he could stay the night. And so he emptied his truck, and he brought in all these treats and everything, and we ate them. And I went and got the girl that I was going home with, and I asked if she could help too. So she came to the office, and the secretary and my girlfriend and I put up our cots in the office, and we actually slept there overnight. So the superintendent of schools at the time came up to make sure everything was okay. And we formed a friendship. Not so much my girlfriend, she wasn't into that, but the superintendent, the secretary, and I became fast friends. And so after that, in my senior year and the rest of my junior year, this secretary felt free to call me to the office out of classes that I was up on the work. And anytime somebody had to go home sick or didn't come in, I found myself spending the day working in the school office when I was still a student. And then the superintendent said, would I like him to find me a permanent job in the district. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got started. I'm still a school secretary today, different district, but it definitely, I loved it, and it determined what I wanted to do. It showed me firsthand. And then when I was going on was a senior, that's the year that, no, I'm sorry. I was still.
So what would EB say she is? Integrated or despair? EB would say that she is an integrated person. She has experienced no regrets in life. And as Erikson describes, an integrated person is one who believes that their life has a purpose and fulfilled their life obligations and validated their life's worth. While her life is not over yet to be able to fully assess if she fulfilled her life obligations, she definitely has a validated sense of life worth when talking with her. The next thing I wanted to discuss is Kubler-Ross's theory of death and dying. It involves 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Applying this to EB's life, EB lost her partner of over 20 years to cancer. When asked to describe their relationship, she said, quote, "They have an amazing life together." EB's partner had cancer that was stage 4. It was lung cancer. It was a very prolonged illness. While his diagnosis was not a complete shock, as he was a smoker, when asked about what stages she went through in relation to Kubler, EB stated that she went into denial, and so did her partner. It wasn't about the diagnosis, as mentioned before, he was a smoker, but it was the aspect of, is he going to die? They never gave up hope, even when the chances and statistics seemed grim. And even after his passing, EB still has a connection with her spouse. When doing research in my annotated bibliography, I came across an article in which a study looked at death and whether you could quantify it. And in that analysis, it discussed that there are different stages in death, and everybody experiences death differently, but there are connections that can be made in the afterlife. And that's just what EB does. She talks with her partner like he's still there. Their relationship does not diminish in any way. It just evolved, and therefore she has gone through all of Keebler's stages, just in a different capacity. So are there any theory limitations? Some things I wanted to note regarding some theory limitations as it relates to integrity and despair is that this stage is fluid. As Erikson points out, the end stage is death. As nobody knows when they're going to die, even with a terminal illness, it is fair to say that this can be a limitation. Also, there is no criteria for somebody to be considering their life meaningful. It is very ambiguous from person to person. EB's definition of life fulfillment and my definition of life fulfillment could be very much different. So to be able to say that somebody's life is meaningful, there's no criteria to define it. It's all up to the individual. So that's an important limitation to note when analyzing this theory. References. These are my references, several of which are from my annotated bibliography. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my project, and have a great rest of your day.